How is everyone doing today? Hope you guys are feeling great, because I'm feeling great. Always stoked on these classic 90s sneakers like this Air Max BW. This Tinker Hatfield design shoe was originally released in 1991 as the Air Max 4. In its day, it was a performance runner, but everyone I knew just wore them casually. It was part of Nike's International Series, and it was offered in 3 colorways. 2 for men, this Persian violet version, and a clean blend of blue and green tones, people now call them merino, and 1 for women, Persian violet version. This introductory ad showcased it alongside the Air Max 3, which is now called the Air Max 90. The BW features the same air sole unit as the Air Max 90, but has an enlarged window to see through. That's why it's called the Big Window. You can see here in Tinker Hatfield's original sketches for the shoe that it's not exactly the same, but pretty close to the end product, and he had the BW Big Window name on the midsole sketch. The other Air Max shoe released in 1991 was the Air Max 180. It was a Tinker Hatfield design shoe, as well in collaboration with Air Force One creator Bruce Kilgore. Now, if you do any research to see what other people have to say about these shoes on the internet, you get some pretty funny articles saying that these shoes were popular in the R&B scene. Where were you living where there was an R&B scene, fam? Because at that point in time, the younger R&B artists were influenced by hip-hop, and the older R&B artists were wearing suits and shiny dress shoes. Like, what would you and the homies do in this so-called R&B scene? Go shop for pleated dress pants and valleys? Practice looking sexy in the mirror? Trade silk shirts and gold chains? I just don't know. Gerald Levert, Tevin Campbell, SWV, Boyz II Men, Whitney Houston, Al B. Sure, Jodeci, Babyface, Peabo Bryson, Mariah Carey, Keith Sweat, Toni Braxton, Luther Vandross. I lived through this, and none of these people were known for wearing Air Maxes. I don't think the people who write about these sneakers were around in the 1990s. Maybe they live in other countries where R&B scene means something totally different. I don't know, but not in the United States. Another thing that's mentioned in these articles is ravers and dancers being into these shoes, which is true, but a better way to put that is youth culture was into these shoes. Be it hip-hop, graffiti, skateboarding, electronic dance scenes, all the music scenes, streetwear, Air Max were always an option. I'm not going to speak on if these 2021 versions are an exact replica of the OGs because it was a long time ago, man. I can't remember back that far. Nike is saying it's a near one-to-one retro, so we should always believe large corporations, right? It looks close, that's for sure. Not gonna lie. My nostalgia for 90s runners makes me more stoked on these BWs now than I actually was in the 90s. I had other Air Maxes that I wore and loved more than these back then. You could just find more colorways of the other Air Maxes. It seemed these Persian violet ones were the ones I saw everywhere, and that kind of got tired. Even though these are an attractive sneaker, just got tired of looking at it. Looking at the colorway, I guess I should say. The last time these were released was in 2016, but they were released in the year 2000, 2003, 2005, 2008, and 2013. It's 2021 now, so the question is, are these still ranking high in the hearts and minds of the younger Air Max lovers? I can't answer that question, but what I can tell you is I still like them, and Nike seems to be releasing them every few years, so they're obviously pretty popular, I guess. I don't know. So let's go over the specs for no other reason than to relive the 90s. The upper is an airy mesh, synthetic leather, and a felt-like textile. I forgot what it's technically called. And you have that distinctive line going around the shoe, giving it its unmistakable looks. The swoosh is rubberized, and you get those nice perforations on the synthetic heel counter as a unique detail. The The heel counter is not a stiff, hard plastic feel, but rather pliable with some give. Around back is also where you see that classic Air Max graphic in rubber. The bulging collar is a neoprene, and so is the top of the mostly mesh tongue, where you will find another Nike Air logo. It's a traditional lacing look here with some nylon details on the top eye stays. This all sits on that big window PU midsole, highlighted by that violet line, accentuating the airbag. The black waffle outsole has a splash of color in the arch and some Nike Air graphics to go along. The insole is removable and it has the same Nike International graphics that were in the originals, except this is a heat transfer that will peel easily and the OGs were screen printed. Upon its release in 1991, this was considered a plush, comfy ride. And the upper still is comfortable, but the midsole is definitely stuck in its era. The PU midsole is not like modern foams. It's old tech, it's firm, but hey, at least you are taller in these joints. There will be some other colorways of the BW dropping this year, so you'll have some more possibilities to scoop some up for yourself if you missed out on this initial OG colorway. I'm stoked to see this one back around again. What is your guys' favorite Air Max? Are you old like me and did you have these in the 90s? Hope you guys enjoyed that. Till next time, later.